the call today on this Zoom program, but there are a lot of people who have never met him or listened or heard him. Now, formally and traditionally, he was trained and he was ordained by the chief rabbi in Montreal. He also has been working for 40 years, has his master's degree in education, and has been the rabbinical congregational rabbi for many different synagogues, including a couple in Canada, in Colorado, in Philadelphia, and here in Florida. So he's followed a very traditional path. But I believe we're going to find out today that something deep inside this man has been activated. Now, what are my recommendations for you? First of all, if you can focus 100% and become present in this moment, like let multitasking fall to the wayside, you will benefit greatly. And why do I say that? Because I've had the privilege of being with Rabbi Akiva on 2 phone calls in the past, at a Seder, and a high holiday service, and for a class. And what I have learned is that this man is a rare gem. Now, if you go to a jewelry store, they'll take gorgeous, beautiful lights and they'll shine them on the gems and make them sparkle. This gem of a human being, Rabbi Akiva, isn't saying, see me, I'm gonna sparkle. What he's doing is being himself. Like a gem, you have to look for him because he's not looking for you. But when you excavate a little within the soul of yourself, you'll be able to touch into the beauty that he has to offer. Where will you be challenged or taxed is to trust that what he will deliver will unfold for you. He's not going to splash it out. He's going to touch in to the depths of his being to bring you what I believe is truth for us to hear today. So that was a big preamble and worth it. Rabbi, welcome to our interview series.
Hi, Liz. Hi, Deborah.
Hi.
It's certainly my honor to be here with you.
Well, I wanted to ask you.
So beautiful. You all look so beautiful.
We do have a beautiful group. I wanted to ask you, right this minute, how connected do you feel? We're on Zoom. You and I aren't in the studio. We're not face to face. We're not in a room where we're conducting this. We're on Zoom, and I'm looking at you through like a camera. You're looking at me. But let's start here with connection. Let's make that our first topic.
Certainly, for the people that I know well from IJKL world, I feel so connected to people. I have been gifted. I believe it's a gift to feel the souls of the people I meet pulsating. I'm very sensitive to the human beings' vibrations, and I receive those vibrations. So Zoom is somewhat less than having a session like this in person, but I see your faces and I feel your souls at the same time. you know, so I feel strongly connected.
Okay, that's wonderful. So you talked about us as being vibrations of energy. How relevant is that for us? You know, I took the liberty of talking with Kim to schedule today to talk about a spiritual roadmap during these times where we're being very challenged. So how relevant is our energy, our vibration, our frequency, our essence, or what we are, the stuff we're made of, to beginning to follow this roadmap in life? What do I need to know about this being?
Liz, this being meaning?
This human being that I am, that you are, that we all are. There's something, you know, that we all are. And there's something that's very unique for each of us.
One thing that Jewish mysticism insists on and takes for a foundational assumption is that the entire world, and certainly all human beings, are in some way absolutely interwoven one with the other. Whether we are willing to delve into the depths of that interconnectedness or not, we are intrinsically interwoven one with the other. Things that look like opposites are interconnected one with the other on certain levels of frequency. So that makes the Martin Buber's I-thou relationship something out of myself that looks like it is separate from me. I am I, you are you, is not necessarily true.
What was that chuckle?
Because most people are not trained enough to focus their eyes into that field of vibration.
That field of connectedness, meaning
yes.
That interconnectedness, that what I do influences and has an effect, some type of like a ripple, like you talk about dropping a stone in the water, there'll be a ripple effect.
Absolutely. So the more we are able, and we are to some extent trained to pick up that vibration, the lovelier and the more expansive our lives become.
You referenced in the beginning that you have, I'll call it like an innate ability to understand the energies. And that's what allows you to connect with your chavara, with your people. There's something there. Some of us could say we have certain innate abilities. Others don't. Some require training. Others come naturally. I know this is a general question, but what are the basic components that allow us to move from I and me to us and we, I and thou?
I would say that a willingness to look beyond surface, to dig deep, firstly into one's self, a lifelong exercise of absolute commitment to self-introspection is number one. In order to open up one's own vessel and to know, as Proverbs says very clearly, da et atzmacha, know thyself. Knowing thyself and the practice of deep introspection, and to eliminate the distractions of ego, enables us to open up the self, the vessel, to become what the mystics call a proper receiver, of the thou that is about to enter into my life. The other entering into my life. If I have purified my own vessel, then I am able to receive your vibrations in a way that is going to create deep I-thou relationship.
So for some people, they don't need to do this.
Exactly.
They're not interested. Don't need know thyself. Don't need to feel that. They're happy. They're good, and we're not to judge how somebody else should do their life. I have to allow others to what is it that informs someone and what's right for them? Because somebody could be listening and go, I don't want to do that, too much.
Liz, all I would say is they're not as happy as they could be.
Okay, now let's.
It's simply a matter, from my perspective. If I know that someone just simply loves vanilla ice cream, and I introduce them to Baskin and Robin, and I say, excuse me, my good friend, are you aware that there are 35 other flavors? Wild flavors? Then it is up to the person to tell me, oh, I would like to experiment with some others, or not. And if it's and if the response is I don't want to entertain that, then I say Gesundheit, then live your life in vanilla land.
Wow.
And you might never know. You might never know, and you might never miss.
Right.
Actually, mint chocolate chip. You know,
one of my favorites. Rabbi, there's no judgment in saying you offer.
There's no judgment. There's an offer on the table.
And I think every one of us know, we've been in dialogue with a friend and they're struggling, and we offer something and they're like, nah, I've already done that, or I know that, or that's not going to work for me, and they shut you down really quickly. And I think we learn, let them be as they are. and it's not my responsibility to make them see it my way. So you've given us something good to work with. I believe that a lot of the people who are on here who know that you have teachings that are very deep. But I don't know if people who are on here know you. So let's go back for just 2 minutes ago. Know thyself. Would you help me out here? Make yourself as human as I am. What do you know about yourself when you wake up in the middle of the night? What do you grapple with, if anything, or face or confront or struggle with? What do you, as someone who we look up to, do or have angst about that maybe we do too, and help us know what you do to reconcile those moments, because these are tough times and I need help. So I think maybe by taking me into you, you may be able to help me and the rest of us that are here.
I constantly grapple with the meaning and purpose of life. And in every 24-hour period, I wake up and I ask myself, how is this day going to unfold with me realizing that I have something in some unknown and mysterious way, I have something to offer the next 24 hours and the people that I am going to talk with, meet with in the next 24 hours, and to heighten my sense of meaning and purpose in the next day.
So what you're describing is a both end. This is how I'm hearing you. Your first commitment is to recognize that there's an opportunity for you to have an enriched life by making it meaningful for you.
Exactly.
And then you're taking that you and you are giving it to others to also to help to lift them up too, to give the most of you can.
Because we are all interwoven. So if I walk into the day ready for self-purpose and self-meaning, then all of the other variables, all of the other people that I meet, any conversation that I have is going to be one of those vibrations that have a domino effect. How I speak to you today and how that is going to affect how you speak to someone else. So it goes back to the interwovenness of all existence.
Now, this is lofty. This is very, very lofty. I want to get down to nuts and bolts. Do you worry about anything?
Yeah. So I worry about my interaction with people, how I may or how I may not be assisting, being helping. I worry about have I invested enough focus and empathy with people that I come across within those 24 hours. Am I rooted in the purposefulness of the day, or am I allowing myself to be distracted by the Yiddish word by shtissim, by idiocies, by
What about
nothing.
the stuff that's going on in the outer world right now? What about injustices and rioting? What about those things
The
that
world, the world in general, and America in particular, it is going through a revolution that is going to lead to revelation.
okay,
And we are going through birth pangs on many different levels that require focus, spotlight, clear thinking, and if I may say, some mystical thinking that we are eventually going to be an improved society. But while we are in the midst of it, in the midst of revolution and reformation, it's tough.
mm-hmm.
But I do believe this, the chaos and the tsaros on many different planes that we are going through is going to lead to a tikkun, to a healing and a revelation of truths without which we would not have reached the higher point.
So I am in alignment with that, and I like it. And so it seems like it'll be incumbent upon me to be working on me and to know myself during this time, because all my interactions and exchanges are influencing all the people that I'm around. So we work on ourselves to bring our best self into the world. Let me postulate or hypothesize that the people who are here in this very moment, we are in an evolutionary process. We're absolutely here for a reason. Each and every one of us. How many people? 68 people. There's a reason why we've come together, and a readiness, if we're focused and attentive, a readiness in our consciousness, in our neshama, in our soul, to be sharing this moment together so that we can what? Fill in the blank, please.
Refine and rediscover the power that we have to make small changes into grand ones. We are under, I believe that many of us are under the impression that we cannot, little old me cannot make a difference. And that in Jewish tradition was the worst thing that a person can convince themselves of, that I don't matter. What I do and my efforts don't count. I think we can make huge differences. For example, I a week and a half ago, Mamish wanted to go down to Miami, where protests were taking place, and to to get a, I wouldn't be able to walk the walk, but I wanted to go down there and somehow get into a wheelchair and protest with my kippah on, if not a tallis on, and protest with our African American society, and make a statement that me, the Jew, the white-skinned Jew, are absolutely with you in your cause, because your cause is my cause, and somehow be a representative of Torah values, and be a representative of the Jewish community, that at least in that period of time, people will see and possibly view Judaism as, hey, I never knew that.
Mm-hmm.
I never knew that.
But because you maybe
I couldn't do it, and I am thinking, I am not hesitating or stopping myself from thinking, what if I can't do that? I am not giving up. What else can I do? What possible thing can I do to make a difference and to add my vibration to that good cause, that enormous cause of allowing people to be treated with inequality? What can I do about that? If I can't do this, I'm going to do that. And that's what we can all figure out
for ourselves.
For ourselves.
Right. You know, I've gone through this quite a bit. It started for me during Hurricane Andrew. And a lot of my friends, I was raising 2 young children, but a lot of my friends had raised their children, and oh my God, they were arranging for pallets of water to be delivered and food and moving. And I thought, I can't do that. What can I do? And I prayed on it. And that was the answer. You can pray. You can pray. You can use prayer. Larry Dossey, prayer is good medicine. We know the power of prayer. Like, take your prayers and let the vibration from the prayers. But I have an ego, and my ego's like, not good enough, Liz. You should be doing more. So this is not the mystical part of us. This is the every freaking day, the ego, how it holds us down, how it says, don't think you can make a difference. You're not big enough or good enough, or, I mean, I know that voice too well. Do you hear it? I should be on the stage with this voice. I've practiced so much. And as I'm speaking these words, I'm hearing this word rise up. It's called like attachment. So I want to tie the two together. The ego, attachment, and then I want to scream out loud, Rabbi, help, get us out of here. What can we do to like break free so that we can be our interconnected, interwoven, intercommunicative, caring, loving, true, aligned selves that we really know we are. And that's going to be our last place where we end up today, is on truth. So I'm kind of moving us along to where I see we're going.
So Liz, on that, Judaism strongly believes in the idea and concept of community. Judaism does realize that although we can accomplish a great deal on an individual level, the idea of kehillah, the congregation, the assembly of Jews, is an enormous concept in within Judaism from its inception. So one thing that I am very proud of and very thankful for is the Institute of Jewish Knowledge and Learning has been able over the years to collect individual people of like-minded spirits, to collect them and create a forum, a platform through which communication, they start off to be students in a class, but then get to know each other, and then get to befriend each other, and then get to love each other, to a point where if somebody is stuck in a personal dilemma or something like this, in a communal dilemma, what can I do? I'm frustrated. I want to do something, but I can't find it. The IJKL has provided a platform for that individual to seek out some advice, some consultation with friends, with the I-thou element, and gain some good encouragement and gain some good traction in how to unstick ourselves from something that is holding us back, or
so I think it sounds to me like you're referring to that when you interact with people and you get close with them, you know, if you're really working the program, they'll become mirrors to help you see yourself.
Absolutely. So the collective that we have been able to establish in IJKL, beyond the studying, beyond the self elevation that comes out of some deep study, the collateral blessing that comes from friendship is I consider a great accomplishment of any organization, of any institution.
So, Rabbi, when we're in groups of people, there's always our stuff is going to show up. So I'm going to go back to how our egos can get in the way of our, you know, we talked about the people who aren't inclined to self-examine, be introspective, know themselves. You said they're not happy, but there's also ignorance is bliss. But when you've come this far, as we have, and we're on the path and we're doing discovery, we meet ourselves. We meet parts of ourselves. The same one that, you know, you wake up in the middle of the night and we feel the sometimes the terror of ourselves in life, in the world, and all the administrative details and dealing with taxes. I mean, everything. And there are parts that we're forced to face. And I'm just going to call it the ego. And I'm not going to dig and ask you to tell me how you work with your ego, although if you want to, that would be great. But what do I do when I meet these parts that don't feel congruent with the more mystical, awakened part of myself that strives to be the absolute best I can for myself and each other? How do we come to understand this schism, dilemma, dichotomy that is inside?
Oh boy, that's a big one.
3 minutes, no worries, 3 minutes. So.
That's a big one, Liz.
It's the most right now, I think.
Reb Nachman of Breslov used to say, mitzvah gedola lihiot besimcha. The greatest mitzvah in all of the Torah, in all of creation, is to constantly strive to be in a state of joy.
Okay.
And without getting into it, I have found that the great gauge that we have to measure all of those dilemmas, all of the obstacles in life, is we have to ask ourselves daily, am I in an optimal state of joy? And when we discover that we aren't, we have an obligation. If we keep that as our goal, we have an obligation, and it makes it easier for us to be able to eliminate and to deal with those things that are causing our non-joy. We constantly have to have a very high bar for ourselves. Am I joyful? Is this person beside me, is this problem that came up, is it diminishing my sense of joy? And if it is, that will be an incentive to deal with what is in front of me and to eliminate that thing that is causing the barrier between myself and my joy place.
And chances are what we'll find, what's causing the barrier, is right between here and here.
Absolutely. And that's where self-introspection comes in. So when you talk about ego, Reb Nachman is talking, there's a certain part of the ego that absolutely has to be nourished and fed in order to bring out the meaning and purpose in my life. And it is that incentive of asking myself, why am I not in joy? Why? That's going to lead to self-introspection. It's going to lead to action. I'm defending myself. I'm defending myself.
Yeah. So that's really the bar or the barometer. When I take the temperature throughout the day, which a lot of us are thinking in terms of temperatures. So when I take my temperature, if I'm not in joy, then what is it that I can do or eliminate or realign or recommit or reaffirm to bring me back to joy? And you know what's coming up? I think a lot of people in IJKL who've been studying with you, and I'm seeing some of the chats come across, they're like, yeah, this is my guy. I already know this and I'm doing this. And they're feeling like very affirmed right now, because not only are you speaking the words, but the words are actualized within your community's living experience. So that's like a 2 thumbs up, and that's really great. So where I would say,
Liz, I just want to add one thing, that this is so, because you introduced the word ego as a landmark. This is the part of the ego. It's not this selfish ego. it is not the arrogant ego. It is rather one of the most, Reb Nachman is talking about one of the most basic elements in the human psyche is self-survival and self-protection. He is just gauging, use the word joy. It is actually a joy that comes from a very humble and very just taking care of your own joy place in order to be able to live in this world and to be able to serve others. I have to be very firm and confident in myself, and that is not going to come if I am brooding and depressed about things.
Anyone or anything, right?
Yes.
So very clearly articulated. Absolutely, I'm right with you. I love that I've received this guidepost, and I feel I could say, you know, I wanted to offer a spiritual roadmap. Done deal. Now, we started with know thyself, and then we're getting completed with not only know thyself, but know that thyself's true self is monitored based on the joy that you're experiencing in the world. And the best way to do it is in community. I mean, that to me is the answer. So I feel like I have fulfilled what my commitment was. Let me go to truth. Sometimes, well, let me start with this. The other day, I spoke to a friend and I was like, I'm not really feeling so great. My chest and my throat and coffee scratchy. And I wasn't thinking COVID because I had like a lot of mucus and it wasn't like a dry cough. I was like, I'm not quite right. Probably had dairy the night before with my borscht. I had too big a scoop of sour cream, you know, one of those things. And so I spoke to a friend on the phone and we started, she said, well, let's see, what are the things? You know, when I was a little girl, my mother said steam water, and she would put my head with the towel over the water, and I would have some tea with honey. And then I started coming up with some ideas of things that I could do. I could do some deep breathing. I could do some relaxation. I could go in the shower and steam. She goes, you see, we already know. You know what your truth is, Liz. It's right there, just ready to rise up. And then I went to go get my Breathe Easy tea, and it has like a little note on it. And the note that it said is, you know, that you know your own truth. And I said, and I took a picture of it, and I was like, wow, 5 minutes ago, 10 minutes ago, my friend said, I know my truth. And then a couple minutes later, my tea bag says, you know, the truth is within. And I'm thinking, sometimes I don't know the truth I'm telling myself. We certainly don't know what the truth out in the world is. But if the truth will set us free, and I have access to this something that's within me, and now let's bring in that mystical element that you so well know, because you have been gifted with this brilliance as a gem of a human being, to kind of put that together and take us to what the truth is, where it lies, and how we can use that if it will indeed set us free.
The Kotzker Rebbe once said that absolute truth is unattainable on this earth. Absolute truth is unattainable. The only thing we can hope for is to strive towards our own of reaching a deeper, as we mature and grow older, a deeper and then yet deeper representation of truth, but we will never attain complete absolute truth. And those, he said, that think that they have reached the truth, he advised, stay away from those people. Distance yourself from those people. So I rather see the truth as something to strive towards, and not necessarily acquire at the end of the road. We are constantly, till we take our last breath, we are constantly yearning and striving towards a type of refinement that is going to reveal more brilliant truth to us. But ultimate truth and ultimate perfection ain't gonna be. It just ain't gonna be. And the mystics actually say that reaching for that is quite an illusion. We cannot stop striving, but it is just as Moses asks the divinity, show me your glory. Reveal to me all of your ways and all of your essence. And the divine voice responds back, that ain't happening while you are still in human skin. You know, so I think the journey, the trip towards brilliant truth is an ongoing process.
Okay, that's good. You know, I've always been a seeker. I ended up becoming a radio talk show host and a professional interviewer because I see life as a puzzle, and I want to get all the pieces put together, and I'm thinking one day I'll see the whole picture, it'll all make sense. And that's what would make me strive to know what is truth and why I would ask that question. I think what I'm hearing you say is, Liz, let that go. Don't make knowing it all the be all or end all. It's got to be more important your 24 hours. Do your 24 hours.
Yes.
As best you can do that. And that will bring the best of you into the world, and then you will participate in making a better world. Is that what I'm getting?
Yes, Liz. It's really a simple thing. The journey towards striving for truth, the journey is in and of itself the purpose.
I hear you.
It's like telling kids on a road trip, don't ask me about when, Daddy, Mommy, when are we gonna get there? You are there. You are experiencing the trip as we are journeying towards a destination. Please look at the scenery. Please enjoy the expansiveness of revealing the truth to oneself, which is going to expand our minds and expand our hearts to a point where we view life on a much larger screen, and the scope of our lives is going to start becoming enlarged. The striving and the journey is the purpose.
Fabulous. I feel very excited about greeting and meeting each moment of the day. It's like I'm remembering being in the car and less interested in where we were than where we were going. I mean, what a perfect, absolutely perfect analogy.
The Talmud has this expression, Baruch Hashem Yom Yom. Every day, Yom Yom, every single day is the opportunity for expansion, for finding out truths about ourselves and about the world. So you have it right in front of you. Why are you looking out there? It's right in front of you.
I got it. And I'm the one who asked the question. So boy, do I feel deeply satisfied. We're coming to the top of the hour. So speaking of getting it, when we came into having this interview together, we didn't speak before it. We didn't have dialogue or conversation. I have spoken to you on the phone a couple of times, and I've come to some of the events for Seder and High Holiday. I'm curious, before we wrap up, was there something that you, maybe in your prayers or your meditations or your thoughts, thought, gosh, I'd like to be able to share this with my chevra and the new people that have come into this program? Was there a topic, an idea, a thought, a word, an insight that you had in your heart to bring to us?
Yes. And we did not prepare, so allow me to formulate and think for a moment. I would say in all of our personal lives and our growth and maturation processes, especially within our general age group, don't hold back. Don't hold back. And I will, you all know what that means to you personally. We have a tendency, I myself, 40 years ago, I thought I knew the truth. 30 years ago, I thought I knew the truth. 20 years ago, I thought I knew the truth. Yesterday, I thought I also knew the truth. And when we think mistakenly that we're 3/4 or more than 3/4 into our lifespan, and now is a time to settle down, retire, put our feet up for the next few years or a decade or so, and just kind of chill. I believe that that is a terrible advice. I think we have to keep on fighting the good fight. We have to keep on expanding our minds and tapping into the potential, the unbelievable potential that lies in our hearts, in the Yetzirah, level of the tree of life, and our growth potential is just peaking now for most of us. Do not retire from life. And
so you wouldn't
do not hold back what is begging to gush out of you. Do something about it.
Rabbi, I like to use things that are happening in the world as confirmation and affirmation to when I hear something or I get, it's like the world speaks to me and says, yes. Every moment that you just spoke, the last 2 to 3 minutes, where I'm sitting, it was cloudy the whole time we had our interview. But the sun kept coming out more and more and more, to the point that when you said the word tree of life, the wind moved the branches on a tree with the perfect amount of sun so that I saw it move right before me. And, you know, I think that that's the yes that we all desperately need right now to give us that strength to say yes to life and to bring out our best and to serve one another and to be here and to hear each other and to hear and honor the call. So thank you. It was a beshert moment. Would I say the moment was beshert or something else? Like when
yes. The moment is beshert. Yes.
The moment is beshert. And I am so excited for this moment, which is part of the next 24 hours. And that's how I'm going to live now. 24 hours a day, moment by moment, being with my joy. And I thank you.
Thank you very much, Liz, and thank you all of the chevra out there for taking some time out to listen in on our conversation. Liz, I thank you for your very beautifully pointed questions,
Thank you.
And thank you for joining.
Let's do this again. Yes, please.
Of course. Anytime, Liz. Anytime.
This was wonderful. I am so grateful. Thank you so much, Rabbi.